and only what's his face? Okay, 300.
Gerard Butler.
He's like a
Hey,
scientist.
what's up? So right now, live from Los Angeles. This is Dre's Geek Philosophy. Yada yada yada. Monday, Labor Day edition. Hey,
Labor Day.
Hey, it's Labor Day. We're doing this on Labor Day because it's not work for us. We're not. It doesn't feel like work because we're just being jackasses. And so, as we're doing a rolling start, just like if you're playing Daytona back in the days in the arcade, you always get that rolling start.
Yep.
So, co-host Pete is telling me about this movie called Geostorm. From the man who jizzes whenever a city gets destroyed. Whatever the friggin' Roland Emmerich, the man who destroys everything he sees. He has a new. So you were telling me the plot right now a little bit about this. There's a satellite.
They could stop natural disasters. Like it's a weather satellite.
It's a weather satellite.
Yeah. So it shoots something into the clouds, and then like it stops natural disasters. But someone is using it to like attack places with weather.
Because if you really want to fuck someplace up, you go straight to the weather. You drop some of that hot fire.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, hell, right now, I mean, I'm sure the city of Houston doesn't think it's very amusing.
That's true. And then,
but so this movie, like, so of course, naturally, because it's freaking Roland Emmerich, the cities are probably being just obliterated.
Obliterated by lightning and tornadoes.
Good God! So, as we call it, disaster porn, for those people who can only get their rocks off by seeing the utter destruction of buildings and civilization.
Yeah. I dated a girl like that once.
No,
you dated a girl who could only get off. She could only get off if you utterly destroyed her.
No, her big thing in life was to see the entire world destroyed.
Oh wow!
Not by like war or anything like that. She wanted a meteor to come to Earth and destroy it. She wanted to see it. She wanted it to happen.
Huh.
That sounds like a super villain, man.
That's like it's like, so I married an axe murderer, so I dated a supervillain.
So I dated a mass genocidal maniac.
You're dating like the female equivalent of Lex Luthor.
Basically, yeah. She wasn't doing anything to orchestrate it. She was just hoping.
That was her desire. That was her desire in life, to see something utterly to see the entire world just destroyed.
Hey.
Because we're not doing a good enough job ourselves.
No.
Think about the generations of people that have come and gone. The guys that wear the signs, the end is nigh, and all of that stuff. And how many of them have been wrong? And to be the one that is right, to be the guy who's holding that sign and to witness it happening, that has to be probably the most fulfilling experience of their lives.
I mean, I'm going to be crass here, but that dude probably have the hardest erection in the world.
Oh my God, yeah. But he'll be running around literally just saying, "I told you so."
At the same time, though, you'd be like, "Yes, I'm right." Oh, fuck.
Now we're all fucked. Hey, I was right, everyone. We're all gonna die. Oh shit, we're dead.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing. You can't really, say that guy's gonna have that much of a life if he's devoting it to trying to tell everybody that the end is nigh.
I mean, if you've ever watched Watchmen or read Watchmen, nerds. Nerds. Hey, oh my God! So yesterday, I was not very nerdy yesterday.
No, you weren't. No.
I was not, because I am sometimes a walking conundrum. I am an enigma. I constantly do things that are the opposite of what people expect.
We are not the nerds that we seem to be.
We're nerds.
But we have underneath the nerd outfit sports outfits.
Yes, especially executive producer Sam Z and I. We're big sports fans. We grew up in Los Angeles during the biggest time in the peak sports time in the 80s. The Lakers, the Dodgers. I think the Raiders won a championship during that time, but we may have been too young to
The Kings got
care.
Gretzky.
The Kings got Gretzky.
Hockey became relevant.
Yeah, so because of that, even though I am a big nerd, I also love the sports. There's something about the watching competition that it's very fulfilling to me, or yelling at the television, or in yesterday's case, friend of the show, Ryan Rios, who always tunes in or tries to tune all the time. What?
I'm sorry, you're just you like yelling at the TV, but as the case was yesterday, 18, 19-year-old men.
18, 19-year-old men, yes. My friend of the show, Ryan Rios, He and I, we have a tradition the last 4 years where we go to the first UCLA football game. I live in Pasadena. I live very close to the Rose Bowl. So I was, hey, dude, park at my house. We'll walk down there. Yeah. So yesterday, it was the first game of the season, UCLA football, playing against Texas A&M. I thought, oh, dude, this should be a competitive game, you know. It should be fun. Like, honestly, I like going to sporting events because just the atmosphere is so crazy. It is wild. You have a bunch of, well, in this case, not really, there weren't that many drunk people because they don't sell beer at college games. You have to you literally have to pregame where you have to like get drunk. Oh man, dude, no, security was at its fucking height yesterday. I got my fucking colon inspected.
I've snuck into sporting events and music concerts.
I know.
Biggest security areas.
Well, your sphincter must be very similar to Rick Sanchez, where your shit just falls right out. Then
I've got several other places.
You have several other orifices other than your colon to smuggle in drugs and paraphernalia.
I am the orifice master.
You're the master of orifices. You have no problem smuggling things in through any hole by any hole necessary.
That's right.
But hey, Crunchy Sashimi rejoins us on Twitch. Thanks for chiming in, my friend. Hey, no apologies necessary, my friend. Welcome back. There's always a place for you here to watch the show. So,
anyways,
as I continue, so we go to the game and. Man, first half of the game was disappointing. If you were a fan of the UCLA Bruins, it was fucking awful. Yeah. It was ridiculous. I was incensed. My buddy Ryan, we were both incensed. We were just like, hey, why do we come out here? Because I know Pete, you always end up being my everyman. Yeah. You are the everyman. You are the representative of the people. You are representing the audience. Mm-hmm. If I am the doctor, you are my companion. To make it very nerdy, right there. You are the companion. You are where you're the audience viewer, and then you are here, so I can refer to you and tell you because I know you are not a sports guy. No, you are not like us. No. You were born a little bit later, after the Dodgers, after the Lakers. You're kind of like I like comics. Yeah. I'm a comic book guy. I am a jack of many trades. Yeah. I have many nerd trades. So many, too many sometimes. And that's why we do the show because I know a lot of things. I know a little bit, a lot of things. This game was awful. Like it was terrible. It was 40 at one point. It was 44 to 10. That's really bad, Pete. That is horrendous. I was yelling as loud as I could. I was maybe about like 50 rows back. I was there, but I'm a loud motherfucker. Yeah. I have a nice set of lungs. And I can get loud. So we were calling for the head of the head coach. Calling for his head of the head coach. We wanted him fired. We were like, hey, Chip Kelly's available. That's another football coach who's currently unemployed.
Who sucks as well.
He sucks as well. But yesterday, we would have taken the corpse from Weekend at Bernie's to be the coach. When it was really bad. It was unpleasant to watch. And all the fans around us, because it was crazy. A lot of people from Texas came out to watch the game. Oh, wow. Half the stadium was maroon. I looked it up just to make sure I was saying the correct color because at first I said crimson and I offended a bunch of those Texas people because there's another school called Alabama and they're known as the Crimson Tide, which is they're a rival of this Texas school because they're in the same division. And I'm doing it like Dr. Evil. Division.
They're not angry women on the
So yeah, I didn't think to go there.
Yeah, I was thinking, what was that movie?
Crimson Tide? Yeah. The USS Alabama.
Yeah.
Crimson Tide. Movie nerds.
The circle is complete.
The circle is now complete. Fusion ha! So there was a shitload of, there was a lot of them. A lot of hot females from Texas. Good God. Woo! Woosah! Woosah was just like, I was like this half the time. Like, I was like saluting. I was like, thank you. Thank you. And so half the stadium was like cheering, the other half was just abjectly disappointed. Oh, great! Because last year the UCLA football had a very bad year. It was not, again, just like last year we went to the game and it was really disappointing to watch. So we're watching this game and it is awful. We are belligerent. We are criticizing. Like all of us, like all the UCLA fans in our section, we're just angry. No. Like it started raining, so like all the weak fair weather fans, literally fair weather fans, took off. But we stuck it out. I'm like, I've never watched a sporting event in the rain. That's normally an East Coast problem. As Tony said, it never rains in Southern California.
I thought you were about to say, it feels good.
No, that's later. That's later. And so we're watching this game, and slowly but surely, UCLA gets their shit together. To quote Morty Smith, "Get your shit together, you stupid Bruins! Take all your shit, put it in a shit backpack, and get your shit together." And they got their shit, and they slowly start going. All right, they're making the game respectable. All right, they're not completely embarrassing themselves. And through as you said in the pregame show, Sam Zia, they needed. There was a point where they got to within 20 points. It was 44-24, and as Sam Zia definitely said, they needed 9 minutes of perfect football to win the game, and that is exactly what they did. It was we're sitting there like, I'm still in disbelief. My buddy, who was in even a bigger UCLA football, he was just like out of his mind. Like everyone around us were like, "What the fuck is happening?" It was this is why people get into sports, because when ridiculous shit like this happens, it takes you just go on this emotional roller coaster and you just have no idea what the fuck to do. Like my buddy's like, he was like, "I'm gonna throw up." Like we were coming back and he was like so physically ill, he wanted to throw up. It was insane. I was like sitting there like,
how many 10-gallon hats were tossed onto the ground?
No, it was insane because you just saw this disappointment in them. Like there were these couple old there's an older couple who was sitting like 2 rows behind us, and so UCLA they complete the comeback. Miracles happened. I won't get into the whole details of the Michiganness of all of that. UCLA won 45-44 in the final minute of the game via freaking multiple miracles. Like I said, 9 minutes of perfect sports.
It took them 9 minutes to go from suck to blow.
Yes, they were the Mega Maid from Spaceballs. They went from suck to blow, and it was because it was at that 9 minute mark. Because me and my buddy, we went back to my house and we rewatched the game because we wanted to hear the commentators, and it was great because there's this one commentator in sports. He gets super fucking excited, like he lets you fucking know. He freaking absolutely loses his goddamn shit, and he was calling the game.
Yeah, no, he's known.
He is known. If you go to YouTube
search
on Gus Johnson, like he is just like he lets all of his emotions out. Oh my god, they scored like he's holding back. Swear words. Yeah. Like he'd be like, "That fucking score! Holy fuck!" Like he's like holding it back, and he's like, "And the shot! Ah!" He freaking screams in the mic. We get back to my place. I'm like, "Oh my god, Gus Johnson was calling this game." I'm like, "Ryan, we got to watch this. We got to see these last three touchdowns." And he was losing his shit every time. It was great. Like YouTube. For those of you watching, YouTube Gus Johnson losing his shit or Gus Johnson yelling. It's freaking hilarious. Yeah. How he fucking objectively just completely loses his mind.
We're gonna be watching Gus Johnson later.
Yeah. In the post game meeting, post show meeting, we'll be watching this. But yeah, it was insane. It was such an emotional. I'm sitting there. I think for the last 5 minutes of the game, my hands were up here because I had my brand new hat that I had just bought, and then I had my old hat. I put the other hat on top of it backwards. I'm just holding everything together like this with my hands to the sides. I'm like, I can't believe this. This is fucking nuts. At the 9 minute mark, I told my buddy Ryan, "Hey man, if they score quick, they can come back." He's like, "There's no way. There's no way they'll come back." They fucking did. It was the second. It was the biggest comeback in UCLA history. The second biggest comeback in college football history. It was an emotional, like I said, the reason you watch sports.
It's something that. Can you imagine if they had fallen short on that last play?
That's all.
There's so many things that could have.
Everything could have gone wrong. There were still things going wrong. It wasn't necessarily 9 minutes of perfect football, but everything that needed to go their way went their way. Hola, Chanel. Thank you for joining us. It was just such a crazy emotion. That's all I could think about near the end. I was like, "Oh my god, they're so close to fucking this up. Oh my god, how will we all feel if they fuck this up? Yeah. Oh my god, and just like the elation when they finally actually the game was over and they won. Like you just see all these UCLA fans just they don't know what to do with themselves. Yeah. We were just destroying this team 2 hours ago. We were reading their last rights, like fire the coach, get rid of the quarterback, and then that same quarterback had the game of his life in the second half, and it was just. Emotions, sports. This is why sports people lose their goddamn minds. Just when insanity happens, it made no sense. That's the best way I can put it. As we were walking, we were walking out because, like I said, I live right by the Rose Bowl, so we walked back, and then we were surrounded by Texas people, and it was fun. I was I'm sorry, dude. I was I'm sorry, man. That made no sense because Texas didn't really necessarily do anything wrong. UCLA just did everything right, and it was a sport. We're like sports. That's football. It's insane. It's out of control. You can't control it. There's You never know what can happen. Like one half of the game looked like, oh, Texas is going to just destroy UCLA. And like people turned off the game, and then they find out later, like, what? How did they win?
Yeah.
Oh, people had already buried them. I know personally the guy that does the voice of the post-game show of the Bruins. He had already buried them.
I texted you when it was 44-10. I'm like, I hope Tim's ready for tonight. He's going to get all sorts of bad calls.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, like it was like lightning struck. It started raining. The fires went out in L.A.
But yeah.
And the Bruins woke the fuck
The
up.
Bruins somehow won the game. But, enough sports. This is Ray's Geek Philosophy, I'm sure. Turn off the music in the background. And hello, Major Woody. I wish there was a way to turn off that weird music. The way we use Twitch, we have to use this app, this Playroom. I really wish there was a way for me to kill that music. We have not found a way to shut that music down. I know it's really annoying, and I apologize, Major Woody. Major Woody on Twitch. So, speaking of things that don't make any sense, today, apparently, Nintendo announced, or at least they updated the profile of Mario.
Oh, yeah.
He is no longer a plumber.
What the fuck?
Yes, Mario. Known as a plumber, because, the original Mario, in the original Donkey Kong game, when he was Jumpman, he was a carpenter. But then when they did that first Mario Brothers game, the really weird one with the bars and the crabs, Mario had crabs.
The bars were...
They
were all working pipes.
All the pipes, yeah. You had the turtles, you had to knock them over, and the crabs, and all the pipes. So he was a plumber. And then in Super Mario Brothers, you had all the warp pipes. There was pipes everywhere. He was still kind of plumbing. Yeah. And then when they started doing all the cartoons and the Super Mario Super Show, and Captain Lou Albano dressed up as Mario, he was still a plumber.
Yeah.
But apparently today, when they translated the text, or they updated Mario's profile on the Japanese Nintendo site, it's like, oh, he has not done plumbing in a very long time. He is no longer a plumber.
Well, he lost his license?
Or I don't know. I mean, he's been a doctor. He's been a cart driver. He's been there's all these different things he's done. He's played baseball. He plays soccer. He does all these other things. But apparently, on his profile, he is no longer a plumber. What the fuck?
What do they have him as? Is he retired now, or what?
I guess. I mean, to be fair, if you look at any of the recent games, he really hasn't done too much plumbing.
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the DS Super Mario games, he did some light plumbing. Some light plumbing.
Light plumbing. It's just his hobby now.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's just Mario's hobby now.
Did Luigi take over the business?
I would like to think so.
I think Luigi, in a way, kind of like how Gallagher's brother took over Gallagher's show and his whole thing. Now it's going to be Luigi dressed up in Mario's clothes. You can tell it's Luigi.
He's still Luigi.
Yeah. But
because he's too tall.
Yeah.
And his mustache is different.
The clothes just don't quite fit.
It doesn't quite fit. He's tall. It's like that terrible Penny Arcade comic of where Peach and Princess Peach, and then the other one. Daisy. They're talking about does Luigi do anything freaky in the bedroom? And then, you see Luigi walk in today I'm player one. He's dressed as Mario. That was a hilarious comic when I saw that.
But then Luigi, he hunts ghosts too, so
he's a ghost hunter. That's true.
Yeah.
He is a buster of ghosts.
He's a buster of ghosts.
But he is afraid of ghosts, though.
He is always very afraid.
He is quite afraid. He literally shakes.
Yeah.
As he is busting ghosts.
I personally want someone who's afraid of them so that they would be extra careful.
They'd be extra careful, and they'd be quite expedient in the disposal of these ghosts.
Yeah.
If you think about Mario, has had several different other jobs. He's had multiple careers.
He was in the Olympics, right?
Him and Sonic are in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Every other year, they come out with the summer games and the winter games. He's snowboarding. He's running the track. I mean, logistically, there's no way he should beat Sonic in a race.
No.
There's no way. No, when they show that, if they're running on a track, Sonic's just going to destroy him.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how hard Mario pushes down on B, there's no way he's keeping up with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's literally physically impossible.
Even with a star, he probably
should. Even with a star, he could be Sonic would be like, bro, I already ran around the track.
It's like Carl Lewis versus Butterbean.
Exactly. He's a fat Italian plumber. He's full of spaghetti. He's full of spaghetti.
Not a plumber anymore.
Yeah, he's not a plumber anymore. He just wears coveralls because they're comfortable.
He's just Italian.
He's just Italian.
Is he like royalty now? Because he's been with the princess for a long time, right? So I mean,
He has been with the princess for a long time, but
They haven't done anything though.
I mean, clearly no.
Whatever this relationship is, it hasn't been consummated.
It clearly hasn't.
I bet you Bowser's hit that a lot more.
I mean, that reminds me of another one of those online comics where like she just lets herself get kidnapped all the
Why do you
time.
think she keeps getting kidnapped? At this point, it has to be voluntary.
I mean, I guess she likes riding on spikes, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I went there,
and Donkey Kong used to kidnap her back in the day.
dude. She's totally into bestiality. Donkey Kong, man.
I have that one shirt. It's Donkey Kong and Bowser fighting over her.
I get to go first. You get my sloppy seconds.
Like his bongos.
Playing his Donkey Kongos. He's playing his Donkey Kongos, waiting for Bowser to finish. Good God. See, we haven't had a good one of those little where we derail into weird, slash fiction.
Isn't there like, I vaguely Mario Island where there was a little baby Bowser and
Bowser Jr.
And he thought that the princess was his mom.
Yeah. That was Super Mario Sunshine.
There you go.
It was Sunshine and then the weird Bowser Jr.
Because Bowser's
had a lot of kids.
Yeah, and he told him, right, that, well, that's your mom, and that's why he was kidnapping her, right?
So, that's the one Mario game I never played. I never played Sunshine.
It's pretty fun.
And he had his little water tank with the flood. See, he was a janitor in that game. He was cleaning things up, not a plumber. He was using water to clean.
He was cleaning graffiti.
My favorite of his jobs, by the way, boxing ref.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yep.
He was the referee in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. He did have a shitload of odd jobs back in the NES era.
That's right.
He was the golfer in the NES tournament golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was easy because all you had to do, like, if you knew you screwed up a shot, just turn it off and on real quick and you could take the shot again.
Exactly.
It worked on the Game Boy, too.
Oh. See, I remember in the original tennis game, he was a referee.
That's right.
He's been a referee. He's a referee of all sorts. But then later on, they eventually, around I guess it was around GameCube, they started having him do all the sports.
Yeah.
Mario baseball and Mario soccer.
There was Mario Tennis, right?
Oh yeah, there was Mario Tennis. Actually, that was on the N64. There was Mario Tennis where they actually did play. That's where they introduced Waluigi because why have one weird clone? Let's have a weirder clone of the loser brother.
Yeah, that's one character I can never quite.
Mario.
There was an article I forgot to post earlier today that there was also an explanation as to why Wario and Waluigi don't have princesses of their own.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I would think it would have to be like the antithesis of Princess and.
I mean, yeah, like.
Did Luigi end up hooking up with Pauline on the side or something?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Pauline should be their princess for the Wario Luigi. She could be like, what do you do? What would be the opposite? Wario Waline? Wapaline. It's a me, a Wapaline.
Is he a clone of Mario or like what is he like?
I have that first game. It was Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. I anxiously awaited that game. I got that game for Christmas, whatever year that was. And it was weird. It made no sense. Like he took over the castle, he flipped the M into a W, and he was warring. He was really grotesque back then. He was like humongous. He was like 5-6 times the size of Mario. It was very intimidating when you fought against him because he was huge. Yeah. And I don't think it was ever adequately explained what his deal was. If he's like an evil clone or some sort of. Hey, my buddy who was at the game with me, Ryan goes, "You just missed me talking about the football game, bro. We actually talked football on Dre's Geek Philosophy today." Yeah, I don't know if he's some sort of weird clone, and then you had a Waluigi and these evil versions with giant pink noses. That was always the thing that weirded me out the most about Wario and Waluigi. Like something was wrong with their nose, where it was pink and pointy. It looked like the head of a weird dick. I almost left Executive Producer Sam Zia speechless. He is processing the penis noses of Wario and Luigi. And this is why this show has an explicit warning tag on iTunes.
Well, it's just making me wonder why you would, because I've never associated anybody's nose or any character's nose with a dick. And
What? Triple H, the wrestler? Come on.
no, except for one thing.
Triple H, he had a giant schnoz. That's he nailed Stephanie with that thing.
The Camel cigarette camel. That one looked like.
Oh, dude, it looked like a giant dong.
But aside from that, no. I mean, you've been looking at Waluigi and
It's a big purple freaking pointy fucking.
You think that was their intention?
No, clearly no. There is something wrong with me. Yes.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
This is not a secret.
I just remember.
This is not broadcast news. This is not broadcast news to you. That would take this into a direction that would be unusually and horrible. Correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Correct. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's trying to make me feel bad for being crazy.
Oh, I'm not making you feel bad about it.
I'm trying to point out my crazy.
I'm just highlighting.
You know what else? You know what else is crazy? You know what else is crazy? I finally finished Daredevil season
there you
2.
go.
Today I
Finally.
finished. I finally finished fucking Daredevil season 2.
And wasn't it good?
It was fucking great. As soon as I got past that second episode, as soon as they introduced Elektra, holy fuck balls, everything goes fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
And then fucking Frank Castle being fucking Frank Castle, dude. He was like the real MVP in the final in this last episode. Where he just shows him start sniping ninjas. I'm like, just you didn't see that coming, you fucking ninja assholes. That was fucking great. And then like he freaking sees his freaking I guess he sees the X-ray of his skull, and like, all right, I'm gonna become an artist. Let me grab this white can of spray paint, get this bulletproof vest, and he puts a perfect fucking skull.
Yep.
But it did look fucking cool.
It did look cool, yeah.
It's like he's showing up with his giant fucking sniper rifle, just sniping ninjas as freaking a broken-hearted Matt Murdock, freaking avenging Elektra. Oh God, it was so. Yeah, I watched the last episode literally right before you showed up to my house, before we carpooled over here to the studio. I was finishing that up, and then I started Luke Cage. I got halfway through the first episode. And as you, Samzia, and you, Peter, both said, and many people said, it basically is a very serious Black Dynamite. He got laid in the first 30 minutes.
He actually is smiling.
He is smiling. Good God, he is just like Luke Cage is just balling up the whole time. He's setting these dumb kids straight, and like all these women are just throwing their panties at him. Good God. And like the old guy, and then in the barbershop, you either got it or you don't.
Yeah.
And he has it. Like all he's doing, oh hey Luke, how you doing? Here's my phone number. Let's go get coffee. I don't like coffee. Neither do I. Hilarious.
So how many episodes did you get through so far?
Of Luke Cage?
Yeah.
I finished half of the first episode.
Oh.
No, I literally finished episode 13 of Daredevil right before we started driving. Maybe a half hour before we started driving out here. I watched maybe the first 20, 30 minutes of Luke Cage, and then I was like, oh, he's here. I had to pack up the PlayStation. I had to pack everything up. Boom.
As
Bada
soon
bing,
as you get home and you get all the stuff back up again, you're going to binge watch at least 3 episodes.
No, I'm not. Nah, I know it's good, but that's the thing, because I did with Daredevil season 1 and a little bit with Jessica Jones. Because I remember when Daredevil season 1 came out, I watched the entire thing in pretty much in one day.
Yeah.
And I overconsumed, and I was like, oh man, my eyes are bigger than my brain. I don't think I can take that. I can't keep doing that shit no more. I can't really binge watch stuff anymore. I want to savor it. I want to enjoy it. It's like, I think like people were discovering that with Game of Thrones. When you have that week between episodes, you really appreciate each episode. But like when you sit back and you fucking just consume them all at once, you really don't appreciate it. Like when I watched Breaking Bad on Netflix however many years ago, I only watched it 1 or 2 episodes at a time. Because so much shit happened, my brain would have to fucking like calm down from all the fucked up shit that would happen on that show. Holy fuck! Yeah. So that's why like now I really can't binge anything anymore. I don't know. There's something. I'm old. I'm just gonna chalk it up to that. I am old. That's why I didn't really. I did get into Daredevil, but I only watched it 1 or 2 at a time. It was like each night I'd be like, all right, I watch one, maybe second episode. I'm like, all right, I'm good now. I don't feel the need to continue and just like, okay, it's 4 a.m. Holy shit, fuck my life.
Yeah.
I don't have that capacity in my brain anymore. I want to savor it. I want to eat it slowly and
I
enjoy.
physically can't do more than 2 hours at a time because I fall asleep.
You fall asleep.
I am out cold.
Well, you're also a father, so.
Yeah. And it's that, and also, what's it called? Now, Mystery Science Theater 3000. I will fall asleep in the middle of that in a heartbeat.
Well, because you were telling us about there's an app for those of you watching us on Twitch. There is an app apparently called
Get this app.
It's called
Pluto TV.
TV. If you have a
Get it on
PlayStation
your
4.
PS4. It's
It's a free app apparently. They are not a sponsor. I wish they were a sponsor.
Free.
But this sounds like I'm doing an ad read. Hello friends. Do you like Mystery Science Theater 3000? Do you like a bunch of ridiculous things? If you want to watch a channel of nothing but Mystery Science Theater, you should download the Pluto app on your PlayStation 4. See, look, I'm gonna use that as a demo reel and send that to prospective sponsors. My buddy Ryan, we were talking about that in the pregame. He's like, "You think you can get to the point you get the sponsors?" I'm like, I don't know. Man, I need more viewers. I need more viewers before I can get a sponsor.
They have
So share the show.
Science Theater 3000 channel.
There's a channel in that, Pluto TV. I need to download that myself. But so friends,
There's a Rift Tracks channel.
damn it, I forgot to reach for the cough button. So this past weekend, today is Labor Day. So normally there used to only just be one convention on Labor Day, the Penny Arcade Expo. But recently we've discovered there's a lot of nerd conventions happening on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Like looking at my list here, we had Dragon Con in Atlanta, Long Beach right down the way, 30 minutes away or an hour if there's traffic. Long Beach Comic Con happened this past weekend. San Francisco had their Comic Con this past weekend. Seattle, Penny Arcade Expo, probably one of the biggest gaming expos that's out there now. All these things happened on the same weekend. Now, Peter Bellini, you, the creator of the East LA Comic Con.
Yeah, I am.
When
You
are. No, there is no hyperbole. You are the creator of the East LA Comic Con. When you were scouting dates, you tried to make sure you didn't conflict. Or I assume that would have been a. You don't want to conflict with anyone else's show.
Yeah, and I remember I downloaded about 4 or 5 different apps that give you dates for these shows, just to make sure we didn't.
You don't want to conflict.
Yeah.
Because one of our friends on Facebook, Sam, was like, "Oh, this is a good thing. That means one show doesn't hog all the nerds." But I was counterpoint. I'm like, no, this causes a different type of problem that you, as a consumer, you don't see. This spreads the talent. Like if Long Beach wanted DC there was a convention in freaking Toronto as well, because that's where DC Comics was. So DC couldn't come to San Francisco. DC couldn't come to Long Beach. This causes guests, all these people, like all these VIPs, they have to pick and choose where they go.
It's a nerd logjam.
It's a nerd. Thank you. So like a friend of ours on Facebook is like, "Oh, but this is good for nerds." No, this is technically bad for nerds. It's Penny Arcade Expo and Dragon Con. A big time nerd, Will Wheaton, he used to go to both. But now Dragon Con moved to Labor Day weekend, and he was forced to choose between going to Penny Arcade Expo, where he'd do a funny Dungeons and Dragons panel with them. He'd do all kinds of other stuff. He'd basically just be Will Wheaton, like, "Shut up, Wesley," And then he'd go to Dragon Con, and then he was forced to choose. He chose to go to Dragon Con instead of. I remember one of the last times I went to Penny Arcade Expo, I was like, I was really disappointed. I'm like, "Oh, where the fuck's Will Wheaton? He's supposed to be here doing," because they have a fun, interactive Dungeons and Dragons game that they play live at a theater. Like the two guys from Penny Arcade and all that stuff, they all get together. So it's just like, it's insane.
Yeah.
And so there's too many cons.
Yeah, it's very similar. Like the best example is like Free Comic Book Day. It's very difficult to find someone to come to a store because every store in the country is doing.
Yeah, no, it's like it's hard to find talent. You have this glut of or a log jam where you're trying to find an artist or someone to come to your store, and so now that there's so many conventions now they're starting to overlap.
Yeah.
And these yo, what's up, Bushy Bro Lee? You're watching. You're double watching. I saw you just joined on Facebook as well. Thank you, double view. And I feel this is becoming a problem now, right?
Oh, big time.
As a proprietor of a convention yourself, is this something that concerns you?
A little bit. I mean, because even though I did everything I could to make sure nothing conflicted, after we announced the date, stuff started coming up.
stuff came up because other people wanted that week, a summer weekend.
Yeah. So it's just I kind of feel at this point you really can't plan for anything. It's like, holiday week is it's a given. I think any holiday week
there's going to be some sort of convention now.
Because even with the Anime Expo, it was like 4th of July.
Yeah, traditionally anime has always been 4th of July, but now I feel like there's going to be other conventions that are going to try to pop up and try. Well, because again, a lot of these conventions are getting overcrowded, so now that maybe people see themselves as being an alternative. Oh, hey, don't go to that convention. That place is, you're going to wait 5 hours to get inside. Come to our little convention over here. There's no lines. Yeah. You can do whatever you want. You can buy things here.
But so, it's going to be a problem.
This convention culture is really getting out of hand, in my opinion.
Well, the thing too, like it's sort of like there's these other conventions that kind of cookie cutter conventions where they're like, oh, it's focusing more on the celebrities.
Oh, really? Like a pop culture convention?
Yeah.
I think there was also a friend I saw. There was a Las Vegas pop culture con this past weekend. I forgot to list that one because a friend of mine she was vending. She makes a lot of nerdy stuff, and she was vending there. And there was like 6 shows this weekend.
Oh, like was it last weekend? There was
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, yeah.
In 2 weeks, I have a sex therapist convention.
No, but I'm not talking specifically like just nerd cons. I mean, your sex therapist convention, there's going to be lots of people.
I just know.
A lot of people literally and figuratively doing this.
There's a lot of sex nerds and sex geeks there.
I have no doubt, my friend.
They even have
if we learned anything from Revenge of the Nerds, is that jocks think about sports and nerds think about sex.
Yes.
If there's any takeaway we could get from that classic sex comedy from the 80s, that's something that...
there's one more great takeaway that I've used also.
Nerds!
Yes, of course. There's more of us than there are of them.
Yeah. This is true. We do outnumber them.
Yeah.
And especially now.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now.
We bred. We created 2 and 3 versions of us.
Like the female nerds and the male nerds that we learned we can procreate and make other ones.
We had a nerd president for a while there, man.
For 8 years, we did have a nerd president.
Yeah.
That is fucking true. He was totally into being a fucking nerd. He did fucking fantasy basketball. He's into podcasts.
There was pictures of him with lightsabers and standing in front of Superman statues.
Man, I feel like we did. I don't feel like I appreciate the fact that we did have a nerd president. Yeah, holy fuck. He had a science convention. He had a science fair every year in the White House. That guy supported nerds. He was not ogre. He was like the anti-ogre. He was the president of Lambda, Lambda, Lambda.
Yes! Yes!
President Lambda, Lambda, Lambda.
No.
Washington branch. Barack Obama. I'm stupid.
I just couldn't. We can't go anywhere from there. It's like, okay, everybody, good night. We'll see y'all later.
Barack Obama. He's president Lambda, Lambda, Lambda.
We just went there.
Of course, I went there. I'm stupid. Barack Obama. Yeah. We lost 2 viewers on we had a steady 5. That was like an all-time high. We had 5 people on Twitch, and we lost 2 on President of Lambda, 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 Barack Obama. You're welcome. That's what we do here. That's what we do. That's what I do.
I think the 2 people went from there to the Facebook. That one just went up.
That went up to 7 now. Hey, what can I say? I don't know. I'm stupid. But to get back to conventions, before I went off on this insane Revenge of the Nerds tangent that wound up. I'm gonna have some more free time soon. I'm gonna have to cut that and put that on YouTube as like highlights of Dre's Geek Philosophy. Oh, the main thing I really want to talk about was Penny Arcade Expo, because that's a convention that I went to 3 times in about 5 years. I went 3. I really enjoyed that one. And because I would always tell people, like, because I remember the E3 show, like we were that was a big deal to us. We were dealing with that in June because that's a big that's a big thing for nerds. But I always felt like this Penny Arcade Expo, that was the accessible one, because the big thing, normal people couldn't get into E3, but an average person could go to this Penny Arcade Expo.
You have to be abnormal to get into E3. You
had to be abnormal. But this Penny Arcade Expo, it actually got bigger and bigger. I remember the first time I went was 2008, and you could buy tickets way into that. It was the same San Diego Comic-Con conundrum, where like when the first time I went in 2008, I remember me and the girl I was dating, we bought 2 tickets like months in advance. We bought our plane tickets, got the hotel, got everything. It was one afternoon. It was like all right, we're going to Penny Arcade Expo. Let's do this. bought the tickets. Everything was good. We went up there. And it was a really cool show. It's sad. I think the last time I went, I realized there was so much more to the show that I didn't know about. Because we only went to the main hall, kind of like E3. Like you go to this main hall. There's all these games to play. There's all these lines you can stand in. But what was really great about Penny Arcade Expo is that they had all these other smaller rooms. Let's say if you really like board games, because it wasn't just video games. It was every type of gaming. So if there's some sort of rare board game you really want to check out, like you and your friends are there, there's a library they set up in one of the conference rooms. Like you go there, you hand them your ID, you tell them I want to play such and such a board game that's really rare. They'd hand it to you, you sit down and you play it right there. Huh. And then I found a different room where they had all these old consoles set up. They had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Sega Saturn, Dreamcast, all these. They had this entire freaking every console that you could imagine. Yeah. This whole room was set up to it, and the same thing. They had all these different gamers donated their games to have this library. Like if there was a game that you really wanted to play, same thing. You hand over your ID. It's like I wanted to play Beautiful Joe on GameCube. All right, boom. They tell me, okay, the next GameCube will be available in about 10 minutes. All right, here's the game. You go sit down. Oh, shit, I'm playing this game from that era. I'm like, all right, I want to play such and such N64 game. I go through the list. I'm like, oh, I want to play Blast Corps. Borrow Blast Corps. Go sit down at N64. Then you see all these other people. They're playing 4 people playing GoldenEye. Some people playing Mario Kart. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm going to play some rare shit. I'm going to play this game on Jet Grind Radio on a Dreamcast. Yeah. There was I didn't discover this room until it was my last night of the last time I went. I'm like, there's all this cool shit. Yeah. What the fuck? And then they have another room with all the modern consoles. So whatever was current, you could play all the current stuff. Yeah. There's all these rooms. I think one of the other ones, they had a fighting game room where they had all the popular fighting games set up. You just get in line. It was like the old arcade. You just got in line instead of putting in a quarter. You just get in line. Boom. Play Street Fighter. Play Tekken. Play all these games. And then the one that really killed me, that I'm really sad that I didn't discover the first time, they had a room with a bunch of old school arcade cabinets. Oh. And they had a bunch of rare games too. Yeah. And all these old cabinets, and they were all set on free play. Oh. And I was like, it's literally if you are a gamer of any sort, this was the best convention. But unfortunately, because of this crazy convention culture, now it has become Comic-Con equivalent, where the tickets will sell out within 5 minutes of them going up. The hotel rooms are all crazy overbooked. It is chaos. Mm-hmm. And here's the craziest thing. Unlike Comic-Con, where if you get a badge, you cannot transfer it or whatever, they have signs that say, oh, if you're going to scalp, make sure you get the correct ones. Watch out for fake badges. Oh. You can't sell your badge inside the convention center, but they can't stop you if you're outside the convention center. So they advocate oh, you can do it. You can do it whenever you want. We can't stop you. So if you want to go to the show and if you're willing to pay above the market value, because it's so insane. Yeah. You have guys outside, all these scalpers. Yo, I got a 3-day pass. Yo, I got a single day, and you can pay. Major Woody got to see GoldenEye before it came out. You were a game tester. We are old, man. Good God. Oh, John Bulas. Did they have Kung Fu Master Parappa Rapper? Of course they had. I'm sure they had Parappa Rapper. I'm Parappa the Rapper. I played that back on PS1 when that came out. That was one of the first rhythm games.
It's out again on PS4.
It's on PS4 again?
Yeah, it's just really hard to play because the TVs have the lag.
The lag? No, it's not like a. It's not like a Rock Band where where you can autocorrect or you can adjust for latency. So yeah, it's all these old school rhythm games. It's funny because those old rhythm games were much easier to play on CRT TVs.
Absolutely. That's why I kept my old big screen for so long. Was because it was a rear screen projector screen. It was zero lag.
It was zero lag. Where I fired up all my Rock Band stuff recently to make sure it all worked, and I had to keep readjusting I haven't used the drums in years. Mm-hmm. So I fired up the drums, popped in some batteries, and then I couldn't drum for shit. I was like, what the hell? I mean, I was never good, but I set it on medium. I should be hitting 85, 90% on medium, and I was like 20%. Oh, fail. And I'm like, had to go in and do the whole recalibrate to adjust for lag, and after that I'm like, okay. Yeah, freaking modern technology, man. Some things are more convenient, other things are a pain in the ass. Yeah. But again, this convention, it used to be it was amazing, and again, I feel this weird regret, just like San Diego Comic-Con. at least this time I got to go once before it got gigantically huge. Now it's out of control. I mean, I've seen pictures from my friends who went up there, because I have a couple friends who literally went up there for work, because they work for different game studios, and it's just over. Like, they take over part of Seattle on Labor Day weekend, which is funny because in Seattle they have like a bunch of different things going on, because they have the Penny Arcade Expo happening downtown at the convention center. They have a big musical festival called Bumper Shoot, where it's just like it's like the equivalent of like when we have like Weenie Roast or whatever down here. It's like that's what's going on up there for them. And then there's like a big like redneck thing where there's like power boating and all, like all these different like all these different like redneckish kind of like, I remember that's how it was explained to me. Like, oh yeah, like, Labor Day weekend is very awful here in Seattle because there's like 4 or 5 events going on at once. On top of it being a holiday weekend. Yeah. Like, that's why I was paying like $300 a day for my crappy little hotel room. It's insane. It's chaos. But yeah, I want to share some of my memories of this expo. Like, it's just some of the cool shit. Like, the first time I went, they had Rock Band set up, and they had it set up 24/7.
Oh.
It was like, I remember I got up from my hotel room. I was like, I'll be back, and I went downstairs because that first time we got a nice hotel room. Like, we were like the Sheraton across the street from the convention center. So like, I just went downstairs, walked across the street, and I remember the convention, like the hall would shut down at 7, but all those other rooms, like the rooms of all the retro games, all the arcade rooms, those would stay open until like midnight.
Oh wow. It
was insane. And they had a Rock Band set up in the lobby, and the first time the Rock Band was like 24/7. They're like, oh yeah, this just goes on all night. I'm like, what? 2 a.m. I was like, I feel like playing Rock Band. I'm going to go get in line and play some Rock Band in the middle of the night. Although the last time I went, they stopped at 2 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
A reasonable hour.
Reasonable hour.
But I guess no one probably was really playing at like 5 a.m., I guess. Yeah. But that's like, I missed that convention. Like, but that's really part of like why I see the problem. Like, with this, everything's becoming a convention. Like right now, you're currently dealing with the city of San Gabriel wanting to throw their own con. They saw the success of your East LA Comic Con, and they conscripted you, kind of against your will.
A little bit. They decided to have it right outside the store.
What kind of shit is that?
The city of San Gabriel decided to force him into throwing and then. They're calling it Fairview Con because the street that his store is on, the Nostalgic Books and Comics in San Gabriel, California, on Fairview Drive.
Yeah, Fairview, yeah.
Call it Nostalgic Con.
No, or something, right?
Something better, like, but yeah.
Oh, have I ever been? I've been to San Diego Comic Con a couple times. I know you have gone many times. Peter Molina, you've gone way more than I did.
Yeah, I started going when I was in junior high school.
Oh man, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. And I just stopped going like. About 5 years ago? Like,
well, around the time you started owning a comic shop was when you stopped going to Comic Con. Someone had to stay home to run the comic shop, and that's you. That was me when I was working in the comic shop. My boss would go to Comic Con, and I'd be stuck running the store the whole weekend. I'm like, son of a bitch!
Yeah. I used to live 2 blocks away from the convention.
Yeah,
I used to go down there every once in a while, but now...
Well, back then, you could walk up and buy a ticket for the day, and then for like $20. It was like probably like $15-20, buy a ticket for the day. Yeah. Now you have to pay $150 and hope that you can get a ticket 8 months in advance.
This was about 17 years ago, so it was it was way less crowded. Yeah. It was more fun.
It was fun. Yeah. I remember my friend, he would buy next year's ticket. Like they would sell the following year's ticket there. Like if you were willing to, they'd give it to you at a discount. And if you were like willing to commit to come back to San Diego the following year, oh, buy your ticket for next year. And then they stopped that shit in 2010. It just it's nuts.
I remember when I graduated high school, that was the first time we went multiple days, but we couldn't get a hotel room, so we drove up, went to the show, went home, and then drove
You were driving from San Diego to LA back and forth?
Like 2 days in a row. I remember Sunday we were like, no, I'm done.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. Was that our good friend Enrique Cruz who was headline watching the show? What's up, Enrique?
Yeah, we did that.
Oh, driving back and forth. Oh man. Oh, that just sounds. I mean, I had to do that once because a friend of mine, she left her computer in San Diego when we left a Nintendo trip, and so we drove all the way back up, and then we had to drive back down and then back up within a span of 6 hours. Yeah. It was a long trip. A lot of driving. Well, I love. I was just telling my friend. I love visiting in San Diego, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah, I know.
San Diego seems like the whale's vagina. It's nice to enter, but not a nice place to live. Like you lived in San Diego.
I was there for 3 years.
working at the Magic.
Yeah, Magic 92.5.
92.5. I almost said 92.3. I remember. I see your lanyard every so often from your Magic days.
I used to live right there in downtown.
You're saying Market and
Front and Market.
Front and Market. That's right.
Right there, man.
Yeah.
I was right there.
Yeah. You just go out to your balcony and see Comic-Con happening.
I would stand. My balcony was overlooking Front Street, and it was just awesome watching all this sea of humanity pour into there.
Like, it's so crazy. I've only been to San Diego once outside of Comic-Con. I remember thinking it was like a ghost town.
It is.
Yeah, like, you know.
2 years ago, I did the same thing. I went down there specifically to take the girl I was dating at that time. I'm like, we got to go to Lucha Libre Taco Shop. That's my favorite place to go to eat in San Diego. And we went and ate. I'm like, oh, let's go downtown. I want to see what downtown looks like without a Comic-Con. Yeah. And you're right. Ghost town.
Yeah.
It is weird.
There's a lot of cool spots down there. You go to the gas lamp. You go to the,
oh, yeah.
You go up to the water. You have the Star of India, that old pirate ship up there. They got some good shit.
You got the bar from Top Gun.
Yeah, that's there too.
Didn't that burn down and then they rebuilt it? Like,
I guess.
I don't remember if it burnt down. I mean, it's a barbecue. So
it's a Kansas City barbecue or something. It's like Kansas City barbecue or.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember me like one of the last times we were talking about me and my buddy we went over there to like, hey, let's go try this place out. Yeah. We see it on the trolley every time we're taking the trolley over. It's insane.
It's very. They push the whole "We are the bar" from Top Gun.
Oh, it is like all over.
Yeah, that's like their.
Yeah, that's their thing. But like for me, it's Lucha Libre Taco Shop. That is that's the go-to for me whenever I'm in San Diego.
I've never had that.
Oh, dude, the place. Oh God.
Big kitchen down there.
No.
Go to Big Kitchen. That place is good.
No, I love Lucha Libre. The only other place that was always recommended to me about San Diego was Phil's Barbecue. A friend of mine, when last time I was down there for work, a friend of mine, she picked me up and we went over to Phil's and we stuffed our faces with barbecue. It was pretty good. It wasn't like oh my God, I'm having an orgasm, but like that's Lucha Libre Taco Shop. That place, I was just like, I drove 2 hours down and 2 hours back just to have that food. That's how much I enjoyed it.
Get breakfast at Big Kitchen. I guarantee you.
Big
Oh
Kitchen.
yeah, I have heard about that place. That's supposed to be really good.
It's supposed to be really good.
Yeah, it's a good breakfast spot.
It's a good breakfast spot. But yeah, so yeah, we have all these memories of conventions, but now it's like I feel it's gotten away from us.
Oh, yeah.
It has gotten out of hand. I have to say.
It's
like he said, Fairview Con, like a ham-handed convention. Like it took you a year to put together East LA Comic Con, and these. I have to say, these assholes want you to put something together. It was like 2 months. 2 months. 2 months. Like put. Ridiculous. Yeah. All these things are, all these people see these conventions now as cash grabs because you see this herds of nerds showing up all over the place. It's out of control. I don't like it. I'm a cranky old man. I'm turning into the old man from Gran Torino.
Get off my lawn!
I'm like, damn you! Let me say some racist shit and tell you to get off my fucking lawn. Racial epitaph, one after the other. I hate all of you equally. Man, so it's nuts, and I don't like what's happening. It bothers me to no end.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen.
I need to. At some point, the bubble. That's what we say. The bubble will eventually pop at some point, and maybe we'll be able to take back control of our conventions and enjoy them like normal human beings.
Crazy because there's these companies, like the Amazing Company, like they started off with like in Arizona, and they have one in Hawaii, like. Like, it's crazy. There's all these conventions all over.
And then, like, Stephen Amell, doesn't he have, like, the heroes and villains? Isn't he, like, really, like, tied into that? Like, he's at every one of those heroes and villains cons, and they have lines for people to meet all the people from the CW shows. Because it's basically, it's all the CW people.
Yeah. And just make sure that you set up enough security for the Green Ranger.
That's right.
Freaking Green Ranger. Man.
I kind of feel like he started that whole thing because he was the guy that was, like, going to every show, you know?
He clearly was making money. There's still a lot of Power Ranger fans, man. It's insane.
See, next year they're going to come out of the woodworks because next year's the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers.
Good God, 25th anniversary. That's 25 years ago, man. I made fun of that shit.
Yeah.
I was just at that age where I'm like, I was too old for that bullshit.
Yeah, I was like, stop, Power
Yeah.
Rangers. No, I was past that. I felt like I hit at the
I think
with the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And
we were still in middle school, and then we had just got to high school when Power Rangers, like, it was like, I think, because we're the same age, like, it was like 8th grade when the Power Rangers kind of happened, and then I remember, like, 9th and 10th grade, those toys became very rare, because Barry, the first owner of Comic Galaxy, he would run a Toys R Us, he'd buy those Power Ranger toys for, like, however much they cost, like $6-7, bring them to the store, sell them for $20. And people would buy them. People would buy them. Reseller culture has been around forever. But on that note, thank you for everyone who's watching. We had an all-time high of viewers on Twitch. We were even up to 10 viewers here on Facebook a little while ago. Thank you all for watching. We really appreciate it. The more views we get, the more it'll help the show in the long run. Please, as always, please make sure to share these videos. If you're on Facebook, share the video with your friends. If you're on Twitch, let other people know, hey, I saw this crazy bald guy with annoying music in the background doing this whole crazy, talking about all kinds of nonsense on Twitch. So remember, facebook.com/Dre GP Podcast. The GP stands for Great Geek Philosophy. Not Greek Philosophy. Geek Philosophy. You can follow me on Twitter at Dre GP Podcast. You can follow Sam Zia
Come on, it's time
Twitter.
to go do the Mario. Take one step and then again. Let's do the Mario all together now.
At Sam Z570 right there. You can follow Pete on Twitter at nostalgic_comics. You can follow, and I already gave mine. That's all the things. We've done all the things.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Please continue to come back here. We're here every Monday night doing Dre's Geek Philosophy. Every Wednesday night, we do Pete's show at Nostalgia Books and Comics that we were talking about. We do Multiverse Comic Show. As my friend Ryan said, it's kind of deep. It's kind of heavy. It's very comic book heavy, and that's what it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of. He goes. You guys go pretty deep in the woods.
A little bit.
And I told him, that I think that's we don't really talk too much comics here because you and I can get really freaking lost in the woods. And I remember he said he tried watching the Wednesday show, and he's like, wow, that was too much for me. I was like,
you know what? It's funny. I don't remember when it was, but I remember at one point we were talking, and I forgot that the camera was going.
That's how. And honestly, I feel that's how the show is because we're discussing comics and we kind of forget that there's people potentially watching the video. It's the same. And then we do that on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. Saturday nights, I do Dre versus Super Nintendo. You want to see me struggle trying to remember how to play old Super Nintendo games? That happens Saturday nights right here on Facebook, and I try to kind of do it on Twitch as well, but it's very difficult. So. For me, for Executive Sam Zia, for Judge Owner P. Malini, I'm Dre. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.